It was a warm afternoon in Gator Grove. The skies were blue, the sun was shining, and there was big news across town. You see, the city had just built a brand new slide at the park, and this was the coolest, biggest slide in all of Gator Grove. "I hear it's as tall as a mountain," said Froggy the Gator to Mr. Hummus. "Wow, do you think so?" Mr. Hummus replied. "Well, how do you think they're going to even fit it in the park?" Froggy and Mr. Hummus were anxiously waiting for Daddy the Gator to get home so they could all take a trip to the park and see for themselves. And Froggy asked Baby the Gator, his little brother, if he wanted to go to the park and see the new slide. And Baby the Gator just sort of looked back at Froggy shyly. "Well, what's up with him?" asked Mr. Hummus. And Froggy whispered to his friend Mr. Hummus. "Several months ago," he said, "Baby the Gator went down a slide and he got hurt. He needed a band-aid on his elbow, and other kids were all laughing at him. And he hasn't wanted to go down a slide since." "Oh my gosh, that's terrible," said Mr. Hummus. Meanwhile, Daddy the Gator pulled into the driveway and honked the car horn. "All right, men, we have to get a move on if you want to get to the park before lunch," shouted Daddy the Gator. So Froggy the Gator and Mr. Hummus ran out to the car. They could barely contain their excitement. But Baby the Gator stayed back. And Mommy the Gator was in the kitchen and she saw Baby the Gator alone in the driveway. She walked up to him and said, "Hey, Baby the Gator, why don't you want to go to the park with your brother and Mr. Hummus? Are you feeling a little bit scared?" And Baby the Gator nodded his head. "Well, that's okay," said Mommy the Gator, and she thought for a second, reached into her apron, and pulled out a pair of sunglasses. "I've got an idea," she said to Baby the Gator. "Whenever you get scared, you just put on these magic sunglasses. These sunglasses will help you conquer your fears. They'll help turn all of your bad thoughts into happy thoughts and courage." So Baby the Gator reached out and grabbed the sunglasses and put them on his head. And he looked really, really cool. "There you go," said Mommy the Gator. "Just think of these sunglasses as your superpower sunglasses." And a quiet but newly confident Baby the Gator then toddled over to the car to join his brother, Mr. Hummus, and Daddy the Gator. The group all waved to Mommy the Gator as they pulled out of the driveway and left for the park. The park wasn't far from their house, and within a few minutes, Froggy shouted, "There it is!" And in the distance, they saw a big, shiny, yellow slide. The red rails looked freshly painted, everything looked brand new, and there was already a line of kids waiting for their turn. "Oh my gosh," said Froggy, "it's even cooler than I thought." "Let's go," Froggy shouted to Mr. Hummus, and they ran towards the long line of kids. But after a couple of steps, Froggy noticed that his little brother hadn't followed them. He hadn't even moved from the car. And there was a look of fear in Baby the Gator's eyes as he was questioning whether or not he could go down the slide. "Come on, Baby the Gator," Froggy said to his brother. "Mr. Hummus and I will be with you the whole time. There's nothing to be afraid of." And with that, Baby the Gator started toddling after them toward the slide. But unfortunately, as he was trying to catch up to his brother and to Mr. Hummus, Baby the Gator unknowingly dropped the magic sunglasses in the grass. As they all got closer, they could hear the laughing and shouting of other kids as they all sped down the slide. "I bet you can get up to Mach 3 on this bad boy," Mr. Hummus said. "This is the biggest slide I've ever seen." So Froggy, Mr. Hummus, and Baby the Gator got to the line, and they anxiously awaited their turn. One by one, they inched closer to the top, and all of a sudden, it's their turn to go down the slide. "All right," said Froggy. "Mr. Hummus, you go first, then I'll go, and Baby the Gator will go last." "Are you sure it's a good idea for your brother to go down the slide?" asked Mr. Hummus. "Oh, he'll be okay," said Froggy. So Mr. Hummus climbed the ladder and got to the very top. "Wow," Mr. Hummus said, "I feel like I can see the whole town from up here." And then, all of a sudden, he went down. "Woo," he said, as he slid down the beautiful new structure, probably reaching somewhere close to Mach 3 speeds. As he got to the bottom, he yelled up to his friends, "Froggy, that was great! It's your turn now!" So Froggy climbed the ladder. with Baby the Gator right behind him. They both got to the top, and they couldn't believe what they saw. "Wow," said Froggy to Baby the Gator, "we really are up high. Look, I can see Dad over there, and I can almost see our house." At the bottom of the slide, Daddy the Gator was down there waiting for his boys to come down. "Be careful," shouted Daddy the Gator. "We will," said Froggy. "Here I come, in 3, 2, 1, and Froggy slid down the slide. "Wow," he said when he got to the bottom, "that was incredible." And he gave Mr. Hummus a high five as they had both just conquered the coolest new slide in Gator Grove. "That was great, son," Daddy the Gator said. "Now, where's your little brother?" And they saw Baby the Gator waiting at the top of the slide. "I guess he's still up there," answered Froggy. "Don't worry, Baby the Gator. Just put on those magic sunglasses." But as Baby the Gator reached for his magic sunglasses, he realized he didn't have them. He had dropped them in the grass earlier without noticing it. And Baby the Gator looked scared. Without his magic sunglasses, he didn't know if he could do it. And by this time, other kids were starting to get impatient. "Hurry up," one child yelled. "I want a turn," yelled another. Froggy the Gator yelled up to his little brother. "You can do it, Baby the Gator. You can face your fears. Dad and I are down here waiting for you. You can do this." And even though he was afraid because he didn't have his magic sunglasses, he knew because the line was getting so long behind him that he needed to face his fears and go down the slide. So Baby the Gator sat down. He closed his eyes, he held his breath, and he pushed himself down the slide. In an instant, all of the shouting and the anxiousness and the fear just disappeared. Baby the Gator felt the wind blow past his ears, and he opened his eyes and he knew he was doing it. Within a couple of seconds, he had reached the bottom. "You did it," shouted Daddy the Gator and Froggy. "Way to go, Mr. Hummus. And by the way," Daddy the Gator said, "I managed to find your magic sunglasses. They were in the grass over there. Do you think you still need them?" Baby the Gator hesitated for a minute, then he smiled and confidently shook his head, no. Froggy the Gator, Mr. Hummus, and Baby the Gator immediately all raced back to the line. They all took turns going down the slide, one by one, with each turn just as fun as the last. "I bet you boys are getting hungry," Daddy the Gator said. "It's time to go home for lunch." As they all pulled back in Froggy the Gator's driveway, Mommy the Gator greeted them. "How was the new slide, guys?" "It was amazing," said Froggy the Gator. "Did Baby the Gator wear his magic sunglasses?" asked Mommy the Gator. "Actually, no," said Froggy the Gator. "He dropped them at the park when we got there, but he didn't even need to wear them. He realized that he had the courage in him all along." So everybody had lunch together, with Baby the Gator sitting just a little bit taller, knowing that he had conquered his fears by going down the town's coolest new slide.